So with a baby on the way, I realized that I don't know everything. I never knew anything beforehand about being a dad, and I definitely don't know anything now. And I thought I should meet up with some dads and just try to gain some wisdom and some insight and things that they've learned on their way of becoming a dad. And so with that, I bring you a new segment to the vlog called First Time Dad. So for this first time dad, I got to sit down with Sanchez Fair. He is a friend of mine here in town in Charlotte, and he is, in addition to being a singer, songwriter, creative musician, an all-around good guy, he's also a first-time dad to his son, Micah. So let's get to the interview now.
What's up, bro?
What's up, man? How you doing?
I'm good.
Good. So, for my vlog, I've been trying to figure out how to do some first time dad takes, because I'm about to become a dad.
Yeah.
And I want, I don't know, as much insight as I can possibly give. I know there's no perfect formula for being a dad, but at the same time, I feel like the more help, the more wisdom you can get from others, the more you can glean, the better it will be.
Yeah.
So we're sitting here in Good Bottle. We've been here before in the vlog, but we're here on a Monday night and we're just chilling.
Watching Monday Night Football.
Got the
boys at the bar. So if it's a little rowdy, I'm sorry. It's just the nature of
someone
sports.
did something on the TV.
Yeah.
Yeah. So why don't you do a quick intro? I know that we've already done an intro for you before, but why don't you do an intro from the family man side?
Yeah. So Sanchez, married to Megan. We've been married 4.5 years. It was great. It was a quick dating, engagement, and marriage process. I think it was around 9 months, and then we waited a couple years, and then we had Micah after we celebrated our 3rd anniversary. So our 3rd anniversary is June 21st. Micah was born July 5th. And that was a huge surprise. And so I think, I was talking to a friend today and a kid that I'm mentoring, because he was like, I'm passionate about a few things, but I saw this little girl and I want to be a dad. And I'm like, how do I balance those, my calling and what I'm supposed to be doing with my life? And I was like, well, wait a second, like your character isn't indicative of your giftings, and, you need to take advantage of the seasons that you have. And so I think, stepping into fatherhood, I find that a lot of my once callings are now like giftings, and like the biggest thing I feel drawn and compelled to is my family. And there's something about kids that, for me, I never knew how much I could really love someone. I mean, you think when you get married and you're in a relationship, but there's something about kids, and whether you adopt or whether you have biologically or you mentor other kids or whatever the case may be, but there's something that unlocks this depth and level of love that I don't think we realize. And so I found that like my life is shifting in a different direction that I think is great. So
one thing I want to ask, just so that everyone that's watching can get some context, what is your, I would say, profession? I know that we're at Good Bottle, I know you own it, but I don't think that's what you consider your profession.
No. So mainly right now I'm just writing and producing music. I do a lot of speaking engagements of various kinds. I do some chaplaincy work as well, but primarily writing and producing. And it's great. That's what I've known. That's what I'm most comfortable with until I became a father. And things, things obviously as you would grow older, things have progressed a little bit differently. So,
how often did you go into the process of fatherhood thinking you were going to do one thing, and then when the time came to either put up or shut up, that you didn't, essentially you shut up, that you realized you didn't end up doing what you thought you were going to do?
So I might be an anomaly and an exception, because I think the first thing I did is I went into fatherhood with no expectations.
Okay.
And so I didn't have anything that I came in and said like I wanted to do, or this is how I want to raise my kid, or this is what I want to do per se, because at the end of the day, I was at the mercy of a creative being that essentially dictates how I react. And so if anything, I went in with the mindset of how flexible do I need to be, because here's for Micah being born July 5th, he's trying to communicate to me, but he can't.
Yeah.
So, so for me, I think if anything, again, I'm sure you'll get different answers, but I really worked extremely hard at not having any expectations or putting pressure on myself to try things that may have been, requested, not requested, but people suggest, that I do or try. I take note for sure, and if it's the time, sure, let's try it. But I think the first thing that I didn't go in with any, you know what I'm saying. So I hope that answers,
again, just taking as much as I can.
Yeah, man.
So, because it is noisy in here and it's late, I want to keep it short for this time around.
Yeah.
So we'll probably come back because I have so many questions that I want to ask you and another friend of mine. As African American fathers, raising African American children, in both your cases specifically, mixed African American children, half African American, half white. So I have a ton of questions about that, but I want to dig into that deeper when we have more time.
For sure.
We have more light. We have more ability to just share and get deeper. But in lieu of that, before we do that, what is one tip, one note, one thing that you would want a first-time dad like me and millions of us out there to know getting into being a father, being a dad?
I think it goes back to the flexibility piece. Just be as flexible as you can. Be as gracious with your wife as possible. Be gracious with yourself, because you're going to try really hard and you're going to feel like you failed. And you can, if you're like me, you self-deprecate and you emotionally take it in, and so you have to be patient with yourself in the process. However, the biggest thing I can say is embrace every moment and seize the moment and be fully present and as present as you can, without idolizing your child. Because the tendency is to be so present that you never leave home, you lose your life. And I know Megan and I, we were very intentional about not centering our lives around our child, but inviting our child into our life and teaching him how to engage with people as we do. And I think that is very important in the multicultural setting, because, speaking from that perspective, if I am saturated in white culture and that's all Micah sees, then how will he respond to my side of the family, whom he doesn't see often?
Gotcha.
And so we really try to be intentional about, in moderation with boundaries around nap schedules and our schedule and our routine, we build flexibility to be present with people, especially people of different colors.
That's awesome. Yeah. That's awesome. All right, so like I said, this was a quick one. We're kind of just testing it all out. Thanks for joining First Time Dad.
Absolutely.
And thank you for joining First Time Dad. And let's meet up again.
Absolutely, bro.
All right, and there it was. What do you think? I think that I want to do this more with a bunch of other dads because I have a lot to learn. So if you liked this First Time Dad segment, if you want more, if you have options, or if you have ideas of other topics you want to hear about and other dads that I should meet, comment below so I can find out. In the meantime, thanks for tuning in. See you next time. Peace.